Welcome to Sacred Space Yoga with Carol Ann. I'm Carol Ann, and it's my pleasure for you to join me. We're going to get rid of our day. So this is a great practice to do after a long work day, 30 minutes of just breathing and gentle stretches. So we're going to go ahead and get in a nice tall spine. I'm sitting in a modified hero's pose here. Any position will work as long as you can get your back really long and tall. Suck the lower belly in toward the spine. And then dip your chin in towards your chest and just close your eyes. Start some natural breath process and just notice the in breath and the out breath. Notice if it's quick or slow. Notice if it's cool air or warm air, just anything that brings us into the quality of being in the present moment. You continue to keep your eyes closed. We're going to begin with a mantra. A mantra is simply an opening chant to set our minds and intentions toward our practice. Bringing the hands into heart center, you may join me or keep your hands on your thighs or hips. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Punaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Continue to breathe. You may release the hands back to the thighs if you joined me in the prayer. Go ahead and start to constrict the back of the throat using our Ujjayi breath. Deep inhales through the nostrils. Exhale fully through the nostrils. See if you can't make that ah sound on the inhale, the ha sound on the exhale by constricting the back of the throat. Ujjayi breath. From here, we'll flutter the eyes open. And we'll start with some gentle stretches. So we'll reach the arms out and up, reaching long toward the sky. Let the hands come together and let the drishti or the gaze be toward the thumbs. As you exhale, drop the right hand down and just do a little bit of a stretch, tall and reach, and a little side bending toward the right. This is a great place to kind of work out any kinks of the day from the neck. So maybe you can turn the head from side to side. Coming into a static pose, we'll inhale to reach away again and exhale to fold in perhaps just a little deeper. Pull the belly in as you reach, coming all the way back up to the sky. Hands are going to touch. And as we exhale, we'll side bend to the opposite direction. Just really reaching away, bending in, and still if the neck is a little bit tense, you can just kind of softly shake the head no here. Just bring some gentle movement into the neck. From here, we'll inhale and reach a little bit farther. Exhale, side bending in just a little deeper. And our next inhale, we'll bring both hands back up. The gaze goes toward the thumbs. And we'll exhale our hands down in through heart center. Release the fingertips facing toward the hips behind you. I'm going to say about 4 inches or so. And just kind of lean back. Now, if this is really tough on the thighs, then just feel free to let your legs extend in front of you. From whatever position you're in, straight leg, or in this modified hero's pose with me, we're going to lift the chest up really high. The gaze is going to be soft. So don't let that head pop back where we might injure our neck, but just to really reach the chest up, retract the shoulder blades down, breathing our Ujjayi breath. We connect. Next inhale, we're going to come right back up. We're going to do the very same stretch, but you're going to turn your hands away. Let the fingertips come away from you. You're not going to like me quite as much on this one, but it's really quite a unique stretch for the inner arms. So we're going to lean back again, pulling the belly in toward the spine. Lifting the chest, the gaze goes up, and ooh, we feel that all through the inner arms. Breathe softly. Our next inhale will just come up, and then exhale to release. Coming to sit into an easy crisscross position, maybe with our right leg in the front. We'll take our left hand and place it on the right knee. The right hand is going to reach far behind us, and don't twist yet. You know where we're going, but I want you to inhale to lift up really tall here. And as you exhale, I want you to start to twist with the belly first, then the ribs, then the chest, then the shoulder, and the gaze goes slightly over the back of the shoulder. Everybody's flexibility is different. So if you can really twist back there, that's fine, go at it. But if you can't, I want you to be gentle with your body. Gaze is over the back shoulder. Our next inhale will simply come forward, switching sides. Don't twist yet, remember. Lifting that chest. And then as we exhale, we start to turn with the ribs, the belly, the chest, the shoulder. The last thing that turns is the head. And we hold here and breathe. Nice, beautiful breaths. Next inhale, we'll come forward. And as we exhale, we're going to walk our fingertips out, but we're going to keep our spine straight. So in other words, we're not rounding over, but we're really letting that length and extension of the spine. And we just start to incrementally walk our fingertips out as far as we can keep both hips on the ground and the reach and the spine straight. So we don't want to round over. That's the whole point. And we also don't want to rock forward so much where hips come off. So once we get in that full expression, we're going to lift the chest, really reaching, inhaling, and exhaling, retracting that shoulders really deeply down the back. Our next inhale, we'll walk ourselves back up, and we'll simply switch the cross of the feet and have the left leg in front. Now we'll go ahead and do that again. So we'll take our right hand to our left knee to start. Left hand goes behind. We'll do a little bit quicker now that we know what we're doing. We'll inhale to stretch and reach straight up. Exhale to come into our twist. Inhale to switch sides. Don't twist yet. Remember, get tall. And exhale, twist right. Inhale to come forward. And same situation. Walk those fingers out on the exhale. You might be able to go farther or less far on this side. We have different bodies on each side, and we really know and feel this asymmetric quality of our bodies. But yoga will work on asymmetry the whole practice. So once we get this full reach, we'll inhale to really reach the chest. Exhale, we sink down into it just a little bit, retracting the shoulders down the spine. This should be really good at the end of the day. And we'll inhale to come back up. Now I'm going to face the front of my mat a little bit. So just extend your legs out in front. So get those legs nice and straight. Now I understand that everybody's hamstrings can be different. So don't worry if you can't straighten out your hamstrings completely. You can micro bend the knees here if that feels better. But I do want the feet nice and flexed. I want the belly pulled in. Inhale to reach the arms straight up. Keep them about shoulder width apart. Let the gaze go up between those hands. As we exhale, we're going to lift high and reach, going over as far as what feels good to our bodies. Now again, everybody's flexibility is different, so sometimes we can only reach the ankles or the calves, sometimes we can reach all the way behind the feet, and sometimes we can lay our entire torso over the top. So you just find out what works best for you, but what I don't want you to do is don't want you to strain. You've got to let the body soften on its own, and every day is different. Tomorrow you might be really flexible. Today you might be really flexible. And maybe tomorrow not so much. So just accept where we are. Breathe your Ujjayi breath. Really connect our breath and our body. About every 90 seconds or so, your connective tissue will kind of soften on its own. So you might feel a little bit of movement a little bit closer as we just hold here and breathe. Our next inhale, we're going to grab onto our ankles, shins, or toes, whatever we can reach, and lift the chest up, coming into this half lift. The gaze goes up, and you can kind of look toward the third eye here. As you exhale, you'll shift up and over, maybe falling deeper into your posture. Soften the head, Soften the gaze, and maybe the gaze can go toward the belly and really rounding out the neck here, getting a nice stretch for the neck. Our next inhale, we'll just release those toes and just so slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time in this nice seated position. Coming up very tall here. And we'll transfer ourselves onto hands and knees. So we can get onto our hands and knees here, really getting the shoulders, wrists, knees and hips in alignment. Now I want you to spread those fingers really wide here and press into the thumb, the index, and the middle finger. Let your bead come up on your back toes here just so we can feel nice and balanced, and let those knees be hip width apart. Now a lot of women, particularly women, can't figure out where hip width apart is. The outside of your bum here isn't the hip width. The bone itself lines up right between that thigh. So find the middle of your thigh and trace on up and you'll find the front of the hip bone. Well, that is where your knees should be. So we'll start here. We're pulling the belly in and get a nice neutral spine. We'll inhale to reach the tailbone up toward the sky, and then the belly will naturally go toward the floor. The shoulders will retract, and our gaze is just maybe toward the tip of our nose, slightly forward. As we exhale, we're going to round that tailbone down toward the earth, pushing the hands in. Let the head fall, and the gaze go toward the belly. This is our cat pose. We'll inhale into a neutral position, and we'll exhale, pushing our hips back toward our heels. Reach and stretch. Now let's do this just a little bit faster, one breath per movement, but really connecting with that breath and body movement. So we'll come up, inhaling, reaching the tailbone up, gaze goes to the tip of the nose. Exhale, rounding the tailbone down, gaze to the belly. Inhale into neutral posture. Exhale, back toward those heels. Gaze can be forward, again, toward the tip of the nose. 2 more rounds. Inhaling up into our cow. Exhale, remember the tailbone moves first, and then everything else follows into our cat. Inhaling into neutral. Exhaling, pushing back toward the heels. 1 more round for us. Inhaling up into our cow. Exhaling back into our cat. Inhaling into neutral. Exhaling, pushing back toward those heels. Beautiful. We'll inhale to come up. And this time, we're going to move our hands about 1 hand width in front. So we have our fingers still spread. Hands are shoulder width apart here. And we're going to curl and lift up on our toes and push our heels back to or toward the floor. Now the heels, it's not relevant whether they touch the floor or not. If you can push them back and they touch, great. If they can't, great. They're just the positioning of our own particular body. But what I do want you to feel here is I want you to feel that nice length and extension of the spine. So in order for us to really find that, we can bend our knees here and reach the tailbone really behind us. Our bum bones are really reaching behind. We can feel that nice length and extension of our spine. From that position, we can do our best to put the heels to or toward the floor as we straighten our legs. And now the gaze can go toward the belly. Beautiful. Next, inhale. Going to look forward, and we're going to step our left foot between our hands. So now we're in this nice low lunge. We have some work to do here. Make sure that this knee and ankle are in alignment here, and the knee's not over. It can be behind, no worries, but don't let it be over. Try to get that nice and level. In order to square off the hips, this front hip, we're going to pull it back. It'll naturally pull the opposite hip forward. And then up on our fingertips, our gaze goes toward the tip of the nose again, and we just really retract the shoulders down the back. This is a low lunge posture. We'll inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to come down to that right knee, and either walk up that front leg or reach the arms up into our Anjaneyasana. Really reach, reach, reach. As we exhale, we're going to sweep those arms forward and come into a bit of a monkey pose as we reach behind, the chest falls in front the leg, and we'll inhale to reach up, the gaze goes up. We'll exhale to come back into that monkey pose, just reaching and releasing. 1 more, we inhale to come up, And exhale, reaches, come back, down into this monkey. At the bottom of this monkey, see if you can interlace the fingers or hold on to your elbows and really pull the fists away from you as the chest reaches forward. Now we might feel a little bit in that front hip, so really pull that front hip back. The back hip will level out and we reach. Beautiful job. Inhale, the hands come down, come flat on, back into that low lunge, and we're going to step back into our down dog. Look at the belly, breathe a couple of breaths. Our next inhale, our left leg is going to look forward and your left leg, or excuse me, your right foot is going to reach between the hands here. Same stuff on this side. So we'll square off the hips, really reach that chest forward. Gazes to the tip of the nose. The front hip pulls back, the back hip will pull forward. Our next exhale, we're going to drop down to that left knee. Either walk up or come up again. Remember, we're looking for that nice alignment here. Make sure the knee's not reaching over. Sometimes we do that, but not right now. Just make sure we're nice and level here. So we can either walk up or we can reach, rising up toward the sky. As we exhale, we'll do that bit of monkey pose as we fold forward. 2 more. We'll inhale to bring it up. And exhale, fold forward. 1 more. Inhale to reach. And exhale to fold forward. The bottom of here, we're going to grab onto those fingers again, interlace them, and pull those knuckles away as the chest reaches forward very much. And then release those hands flat. Step up and back into our down dog pose. From this position, we'll inhale coming into a nice, beautiful plank. Make sure your bum's not sticking way up, and you're definitely not sinking your hips down at this point. So we do our best to get nice and straight. Inhaling here. As we exhale, we're going to drop down to the knees, the chest and the chin. We're going to keep those triceps pulling toward the midline of the body. Inhale to slide forward, letting the tops of the feet rest, up into a cobra pose. Exhale, release down. Inhale, come up on those back toes, bend the knees up, and exhale back into your down dog. The bottom of your down dog, gaze goes forward, and we make our way to the front. 1 step or several. Get the feet about hip width apart. Slide the hands up the shins halfway into our half lift. As we exhale, bent knees are straight, fold, gaze goes to the belly. Inhale to reach those arms out and up. Nice, tall reach. Hands come together. The gaze is at the thumbs, and we exhale through into our mountain pose. Now let's take this mountain pose for just a few breaths. We stand right in front, rolling shoulders down, belly's pulled in toward the spine. Gaze is soft. Eyes can be open or shut. If they're shut, you can look towards your third eye. We breathe. And we're going to do just a little bit of that one more time, and adding in a couple of postures here and there and 1 breath per movement. But again, remember, this is a shortened class, just for you to kind of get rid of your day, shaking off the day. So we'll inhale to reach. The gaze goes to the thumbs. As we exhale, we're going to bend and fold. Gaze goes to the belly. Straighten the legs. Inhale into a half lift. Look is forward toward the nose. Exhale, plant the hands. This time we're going to send the right leg back first, squaring off the hips in this nice low lunge. And then drop down to that right knee. Pull the belly in, and we can reach our arms up into the sky. As we exhale, we're going to reach and float forward. Inhale to come up. Exhale, floats forward. 1 more. Inhale to rise, pull that belly in. Exhale to flow forward. And your next inhale, you're going to clasp your fingers and reach the chest forward. Really, really reaching. Exhaling here. And plant the hands. Step back into your plank pose. And knees, chest and shin. Inhale the legs behind, the chest comes up into cobra. We exhale to release. Inhale, bend the knees, coming up on the back toes. And exhale, lift the hips up and back into our down dog. Gaze the belly. Look forward and set your right foot between your hands. One step or several. Let me tell you something. A lot of people, they get part of the way and they don't know what to do. But if you grab onto your ankle or your calf and pull it with you, I promise you it'll come every single time. So once we get in that nice low lunge, we're up on our fingertips, squaring off the hips. Our next exhale, we drop down to that left knee. Inhale to reach up into this nice Anjane. Exhale, float forward. Inhale to lift. Exhale, float forward. One more. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, floats forward. Interlace the fingers. Pull those knuckles away as you lift the chest. Inhaling here. Exhaling here. Next inhale, hands come down. Step up into the low lunge and come all the way back up to the front. Half lift. Exhale into our fold. Reverse swan dive to reach and raise. Watch your hands touch your thumbs. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Beautiful job. Release the hands. Let them be soft. The thumbs pointing a little bit behind you. Pulling the belly in, not letting the hips shift forward or the bum poke out, but being nice and level here. Gaze is forward. Eyes open or shut. Maybe it's better, it feels better to shut them. Who knows? You try it. You see what you think. And we breathe. Our next inhale, we'll reach arms up in the air. Interlace those fingers, flipping the palms up, and now dip the chin in toward the chest on the exhale. Inhale to extend those arms up high to the sky. As we exhale, we're going to side bend toward the right. Inhale to come up. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale to come up. Exhale, hands back into prayer. Come softly down into heart center. And we're going to take our right leg and step it back about halfway on our mat. Get the hands on the hips so you can really feel the way that the hips need to be facing forward. So until we do, if our elbows aren't lined up, our hips aren't facing forward. So really work on getting that positioning here. Pull that belly in nice and tight. Once we get this pose, we're going to grab and hold on to our elbows behind our back and let the forearms really push into that lower spine. Get nice and tall here, but we'll inhale to lift our chest up. The gaze is softly up. As we exhale, we're going to shift forward and maybe just come halfway. From this halfway point, pull that front hip back, back hip forward, really squaring off again. You have the option of staying here, or if it feels good, just cascade your torso over that front leg. Pull that belly in nice and tight. Forehead can touch or not. We just hold here and breathe a couple of breaths. Now, our heads are upside down. It's a bit of an inversion, yeah? So inversions are great for calming the nervous system. We breathe here. From this low position, release our hands. Bring our fingertips in front of our feet. Now, what happens? Oh my God, I can't do that and keep my legs straight. That's okay. If you need to bend that front knee to get those fingertips in front, that's perfectly fine. When you get there, try to square off the hips again, and then just straighten it to the best of your ability. That's all you have to do. Do our best. So we just square off here. Maybe we can fold in again. This time we're going to rock up on those back toes. The back toes, the right toes. Rock up, placing the weight over that front left leg. As we exhale, we're going to drop that right heel back down to the earth, squaring off. Inhale, coming back up on those right toes as the weight of the body shifts over the left leg. Exhale, dropping that right foot down. Inhale to reach back up. Exhale, back down. Now we're going to hang out here just for a second. Walk your hands back. Place them on your hips. Bend that front knee for stability and raise, coming all the way up. And from this pose, that back foot's going to turn out. So we'll set up for triangle pose. Oh, triangle's so wonderful. The juxtaposition of the bones and joints and muscles are so tasty in this position that you'll love it, I promise. So we're really going to reach those arms out. We'll inhale here. Nice big chest lift. As we exhale, we're going to reach that front foot out as far as it will. Maybe it lands on the shin or the foot. The back arm is going to reach up toward the sky. And this is the deal. We don't want to be slumped over like this with our chest toward the floor. We want to be really reaching and extending up and turning our chest to the sky. Okay, what happens if your arm just won't do that? Really good trick is to take the arm out of the equation. So just let that right arm fold and land on the back side of you, and then work on rolling that shoulder open, getting the chest open toward the sky. Easy breezy. So we just, gaze can be up. Now I'll tell you, if this bothers your neck, look forward or look down. I want you hurting yourself. So just really stretch and reach. If you can get your chest lifted, maybe you can try reaching the arm up and not be all folded over. I only do this for your safety. So we want to have a nice, beautiful reach here. Next, inhale, bend that front knee for softening. Arms come back up in the T, and we step front. We have all that to do on the other side. So we start with our feet hip width apart again, taking this time our left leg back about halfway, toes slightly turned out, getting our hands to the hips so we can shift and make sure our hips are forward. Might even have to widen that front stance if we feel like we're not going to be stable. And from there, we'll wrap our elbows connecting behind us. Hands to elbows, pull the belly in. Inhale to lift the chest, the gaze goes up. As we exhale, we'll fold over just about halfway, just halfway here. That's all we have to do. If it feels good and we feel like we can go farther, just go ahead and cascade over that front leg as much as you're able. Pull that front hip back. Back hip will automatically come forward, and we come into this really nice stretch for the hamstrings. Oh, what if you say, oh my gosh, Caroline, that's too much? Just softly bend that front knee. So we'll square off here, cascading over. Breathe. Oh, feels so good. Release those hands. Bring them in front of your hands. Remember, you can always bend that front knee if it won't stay straight. Best thing is your safety. So the fingertips are reaching in front a little bit. And square off those hips. We'll do those little movements. So inhale to come up on the back toes. That front leg reaches. As we exhale, we drop that back foot. 2 more of these. We'll inhale to come up. Weight goes over that front leg. Exhale goes back. 1 more. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Good job. Walk those hands back a little bit. And if you're able to, maybe you can fold over. If not, that's okay. And we'll bend that front knee for stability. Bring our hands to our hips and coming up. So we're going to take that back foot and open it out into the T and setting up for our Trikonasana pose on this side. So we reach our arms out nice and straight. Gaze over those fingers. We inhale, lifting the chest up. And as we exhale, we reach that hand down anywhere on the shin, the inside or outside of the foot, and the back arm reaches up. And just like before, if you're kind of crumbled over, we don't want that. Just get rid of that arm, let it rest on the back side. Roll that shoulder open, get the chest facing toward the sky. The gaze can be up or it can be to the side. If it hurts your neck, just simply look down. Really get that chest going up. And then maybe you can reach that top arm up, opening here in our triangle or Trikonasana pose. And we breathe. Micro bend that front knee. Inhale to come back up. And as we exhale, just simply bring the hands into heart center and step forward. How'd you do? You did great. I just know it. So let's get down to the floor a little bit so we can do a few things to stretch out before we end our practice. We'll inhale to reach up, gaze to the thumbs. As we exhale, we'll bend those knees and swan dive forward, gaze to the belly. Inhale to straighten the legs, looking forward. Exhale, fold, bend, place the hands down. Step back into down dog. From our down dog, we'll come forward into a plank. And as we exhale, we just drop the knees, cross the ankles in the back, and simply come into an easy seated position anywhere on our mat. So I'm going to move up just a little bit. I have my right leg in the front. We're going to cool off a little here now, reaching our arms up into the air on the inhale. As we exhale, we'll drop that right hand down. We'll do that little side bend. We did these earlier. But this time, we're going to turn our chest toward our knee. And we're going to take that front arm and sweep it all the way around, coming into these little circles. Let the left hand drop to the floor. Right arm reaches up and over. Chest goes toward. And then it starts to travel back to the right. So we're just doing these nice little open movements. We side bend. Inhale to reach. Right, let that hand roll around. The right arm comes up and we side bend. And then we'll reach that right arm all the way over. Left hand comes up and back up. Opposite sides. We're going to drop the left hand down, right arm up and over. We'll turn our chest and we'll round, coming all the way around, coming up and over. Inhale, that left arm sweeps all the way around. Right arm comes up and side bend. Inhale, right arm sweeps around. Left arm comes up and fold. And finishing out here, left arm circles around. Right arm follows the side bend. Beautiful. We'll come up and switch the cross of the feet. This time we'll have the left foot in front. And we'll just do some simple shoulder rolls. So from this position, we'll lift the shoulders up and roll them down. Lift them up and roll them down. You know what to do. We'll just keep rolling this around here. Pulling that belly in. Now let's go the opposite way. So we roll them down and around and up. Down and around and up. You get the idea. We'll do one more. Beautiful. We'll come into a nice seated position in this simple cross-legged pose. And from this position, we're going to place one hand on our chest and one hand on our lower belly. We'll dip our chin in just a little bit. We'll just start to breathe. Inhaling through the nostrils, Ujjayi breath. Exhaling, Ujjayi breath. Hear that ocean, that sound of the inhale. It makes a sound. And the sound of the exhale makes a sound, the ah and ha, and the constriction of the throat. Just breathe. Notice pattern of breath. One more round. Exhaling. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. We'll just release our hands down, flutter our eyes open, sit up nice and tall, and bring the hands into heart center, into Anjali Mudra. We dip our chin in toward our hands, and maybe we give a few breaths of gratitude or prayer, meditation, whatever it is that's your practice. Just holding here and breathing, keeping our eyes closed. We'll touch our thumbs to our forehead. We ask for peace in our thoughts. Thumbs touch lips. Peace through the words that we speak. Thumbs touch heart. Peace in and through our intentions. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I bow to you, you bow to me. Together we say Namaste. So I hope you enjoyed our practice today. Use it anytime that you feel stressed out. It's very slow, mindful practice. And follow me on YouTube, as well as follow my website, Sacred Space Yoga with Carol Ann. There we go. Thank you so much, yogis.